You were saying?
Yeah, you were talking about spawning enemies.
The invisible.
Do you think that has to do
wires.
with like hardware or like limitations in the game? Whereas to have that guy there the whole time would use more memory?
No, it couldn't possibly be that because there's, it's set. It's a set piece, so that it's a timing thing. So whether it's intentional or not, well,
this guy is supposed to pop out at a certain moment.
right, but it's an unintended consequence of the way that they set it up that he doesn't exist.
Right.
That's just sloppy.
Yeah, it's just sloppy.
Sloppy Joe. I know you kids like them extra sloppy.
Yeah.
There's a couple cars on this street too. Oh, I didn't mention this before. You definitely want to go through these houses up on the side. They mentioned to you, McTavish mentions to you that you need to find a flanking route. And you can go straight up the street, but it's quite a bit more difficult. Hit those cars on the street with grenades, and if you have to, shoot the engine a couple times if it's on fire to make it explode. You'll usually get a couple kills that way. Works out pretty well. One thing I'm kind of curious about how they're going to handle multiplayer long term is in the first Call of Duty, in every multiplayer game ever, people find things that the developer didn't intend.
Right.
And in Call of Duty 4, it ended up being people would take the grenade launcher and shoot a grenade as soon as the round starts across the level and kill people. Or they would memorize some imaginary pixel on the map that they would have to aim at, and it would, launch a grenade across the level. Or people would, at the beginning of a search and destroy round, people would run to these different points, and people would memorize these paths that people would take, and you memorize these crazy places to throw grenades at the very start, so you can hit people in stride within 10 seconds of the round starting and kill them.
That sounds pretty cool.
Well, it's pretty cool.
Unless you're the guy getting the grenade.
It's fun to figure that stuff out and take advantage of people, but as soon as everybody gets it, as soon as it gets to that kind of lowest common denominator, and like kids that don't know what they're doing, but they know how to take a grenade launcher and shoot across the map, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun when you're in that upper echelon figuring that stuff out.
Yeah, I just found out how to super jump.
Right, exactly, like in Halo 2, right, when you're the first people to figure, in that top tier, people figuring out how to super jump and get out of the map and stuff like that early, it's fun, but then other people kind of, like, when everybody's doing it, it kind of breaks it.
So you're a hypocrite.
Well, yes and no.
It's only fun when I can do it and no one else can.
No, that's not what I'm going to say. I'm saying, like, what I'm curious is if Infinity Ward is going to do anything to fix these long-term problems. Because when it gets to that point where everybody knows these abusive tricks, it's no fun.
Did the first Modern Warfare ever get patched?
Once, very early, and that was it. World at War had, I don't know about patches, but it had a lot of DLC. It had 4 DLC packs. And I don't know if they did any balance patches. I doubt it, because that game was terribly unbalanced. Like, I still don't like the idea of kill streak bonuses, because you're giving bonuses to people who are doing well, which works exactly against balance.
Right.
Which doesn't make sense at all. But I'm curious to see if they allow, or if they're going to fix stuff like that, or if they're just going to cater to the lowest common denominator, like they have already begun to do with the PC version of the game, which is what I'm anticipating that they're going to do for the console version of the game, which is a damn shame. I don't know if the online multiplayer options are going to be any different, but the local multiplayer options, you still can't do things like turn off certain guns or turn off certain perks.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah, that is really frustrating, because then, when you get into the competitive matches, it's a trust thing.